Hi, my name is Lok Huey Kei, and right now I will be your virtual tour guide. So the place that we want to visit right now is Gua Tempurung, which is known as the Tempurung Cave, which is located in Perak. So let's start with Google Earth now. As you can see on the map, the cave area is quite big and it is surrounded with water catchment areas such as the lakes and rivers. So here's an interior view of the cave to boost out your excitement before we jump into our destination. So let's get back to our road. So I'm going to drag the minimalist to the place around the cave to have a better experience on our location. Right now, we are at the highway route heading to Gua Tempurung. As we can see here, each side of the road is surrounded with rubber trees and also a slight view of the Tempurung cave itself. So near the Tempurung cave, there is actually a river known as Sungai Gero, which is famous with watercrafting event. I'm gonna drag the minimalist again to a random places, but of course it is still near the cave area. Let's see what we got here. Oh, wow, we are at the peak of a limestone mountain. So thanks to this Google Earth contributor, we are able to stand on the peak of a mountain virtually. What we can observe here is there are a lot of forested areas and also some rubber trees plantation by some locals here, and there are also some patches of dipterocarp forest. Alright, now we had a slight view on the top of a limestone mountain, so let's move on to another destination before we arrive at Gua Tempurung itself. Right now we are on the way to the entrance of Gua Tempurung. As we can see, there are villages of the locals nearby, and as for the greeneries, we can see some cotton trees. So here's the signboard of Gua Tempurung and the directories of this road. Going to once again drag the minimalist to the road which is heading to the Gua Tempurung straight away. Can have a better experience on the biodiversity and the landscape along the road. For that, as you can see on the map, the cave is actually surrounded with varieties of villages. Some of the villages were named as Kampung Gunung Panjang and Kampung Jeram. So here's the road which will lead us to our destination. As we can see here, there are a lot of mountain view where the cave should be below it. Most of the trees here are either rubber trees, young dipterocarp and some lianas. Other than rubber trees, dipterocarp and lianas, there are some vegetative plantation here. As in a slightest view, we can see a lot of sugarcane plant along each side of the road. Along the road, we can also see some village settlement too, and this area were well conserved with no sign of destruction. Before we arrive at Gua Tempurung, I want to take this opportunity to introduce to you guys more on this remarkable place. Gua Tempurung is the largest cave in Peninsular Malaysia and is located 25 kilometers south of Ipoh near Kopeng. This is an attractive for some of the caving enthusiasts, adventure seeker or even just a casual visitor. So right now we finally reached our destination. As we can see on the map, there are some lakes in front of the entrance. Here's the better view on the lake. So it has some freshwater fish which are suitable to live in this cold and humid environment. Alright, so now we are at the slope just below the limestone mountain. As we can observe here, there are varieties of plants and lianas around this area. So example of plants that we can find here is yam plants and also banana trees. Right now I'm going to bring you guys into the cave. So here we are most probably standing in the cave right now. We can see here there are varieties of shape of stalagmite and stalactite. So through the history of this cave, before it is formed, this whole place known as Kintau Valley was all covered up by the sea. Millions of microscopic marine organisms had died and fall to the ocean floor, where their tiny shells are compressed into the limestone. So the ocean floor were uplifted from under the sea by massive movement of the earth crust. Let's go to another platform of the cave before I continue on its history. So rainfall and flowing water plays an important role in the next 250 million years ago, carving sinkholes, chimneys, and galleries from the limestone rock. Meanwhile, millions of specks of calcium carbonate contained in drops of dissolved limestone were coagulated together at a very slow rate. That's why we humans have to look after our cave. If we break off a stalagmite or stalactite, it won't grow back in our lifetime. So right now, I want to share on the importance of the limestone cave. As this opening of the cave have enlarged over the millennia, they have become a valuable component of the numbers of animals' life cycle. So for some species, cave provide temporary shelter and nesting habitat. It's mostly home to bat, especially during the mating season from March to May. Their dropping have created bat guano artworks on some of the dome ceiling. Other than the bats, we can also find a kind of butterfly known as the Raja Book bird wings. This butterfly has a magnificent green wings, which is easier to spot and which is also larger in size. In the cave, we can also find some species of snakes and also some species of millipedes, which is known as the Julita, and also camel crickets. So this is all for my virtual tour guide. I hope you guys enjoy it, and please visit this place when everything is going to normal, because this place is the best attraction for all the climbers and also limestone cave lovers.
Hello everyone, I'm Wen Chong. Today I'm going to introduce to you all the Kinabalu National Park, located in Lanao, Sabah. Kinabalu National Park was gazetted in 1964 to protect Mount Kinabalu and its plant and animal life. It covers an area of 754 square kilometers and incorporates two mountains, which are Mount Kinabalu and Mount Tempurung. Now let us take a look. After entering the Kinabalu National Park entrance, you can see the road to the Mount Kinabalu on your left. The land towards the Mount Kinabalu is covered with a dense tropical rainforest. The temperature in the park ranging from 15 to 24 degrees Celsius and receive high annually rainfall. The precipitation flows towards the Kinabalu River, the second largest river in Malaysia. From the entrance, we can take a view of Mount Kinabalu clearly. Mount Kinabalu, standing at 4,095.2 meters tall, and is the highest mountain on the island of Borneo and the 20th most prominent peak in the world. We will pass through the Botanical Garden Kinabalu before we're heading up to the Mount Kinabalu. The garden is 1.4 hectares big in size, with 700 meters garden trail. The botanical garden consists of endemic flora, fruits, ornamental plants, trees, local herbs, and other special plants from Kinabalu Park. And we can see that there are a lot of plant species along the roadside with cars. After this, we were first reaching at Timpohon Gate Kundasang. Timpohon Gate Kundasang is entrance gate and checkpoint for climbers ascending Mount Kinabalu with a mini market and viewing deck. And this is the viewing deck of Timpohon Gate Kundasang. After that, we were heading towards the Mount Kinabalu. This is the out view of the Mount Kinabalu, and this is the inside view of the Mount Kinabalu. Kinabalu National Park is one of the parks with the richest collections of biodiversity. It serves as home to more than 4,500 species of flora and fauna, including 326 bird species, an estimated of over 100 mammal species, 110 snail species. And next, we will take a look at the example of flora and fauna species in National Park. One of the most important endemic species in Borneo is proboscis monkey. Males of this species has a nose markedly enlarged, while female and young have relatively little stark noses. The size of nose reflects sexual potency and tends to attract female for mating. Next is the Borneo orang-utan. Orang-utans are found only on the island of Borneo and Sumatra. In the local language, their name is known as forest people. Orang-utans are the only large apes which live primarily in the treetops in contrast with proboscis monkey. They are loner and as they will attempt a habitat for each of themselves and ignore each other when feeding, except their own siblings. Thirdly is the flying lizard. Flying lizard can glide through the air by what looks like wings but actually flat or skin stretched over extended ribs and provide a necessary aerodynamic lift whether in search of prey or of a partner. Last but not least, there are threats to biodiversity in Borneo Island, which are habitat destructions aligned with population growth. More infrastructure is needed to fulfill the human demand in their daily lives. Besides that, illegal poaching on endangered animals who have high commercial value in the black market and trade out as pet to other countries for artificial breeding. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Qian Wen, your personal virtual tour guide for today. And now we are going to the Mozi Forest of Gunung Brinchang in Cameron Highlands. While we are heading to our destinations, let's take a look on this map of Malaysia. Malaysia consists of two parts, which are Peninsular Malaysia and Borneo. Each of them consists of a variety of ecosystems such as lowland tropical rainforest, highland tropical rainforest, peat swamp forest, limestone forest, and mangrove. Malaysia is a beautiful place where it contains many popular tourist attractions, and Mozi Forest of Gunung Brinchang is one of the popular tourist destinations in Cameron Highlands. So Gunung Brinchang is the highest peak of mountains in Cameron Highlands after Gunung Irau. So from here we can clearly see that Gunung Brinchang Barat is near to the Mozi Forest and Gunung Irau is up there. Gunung Brinchang is one of the mountains in Malaysia that can be easily passed through by road, and visitors can drive along the road or walk through the nature trail path to reach the top. However, sometimes the road condition is very rough and slippery due to heavy rainfall. It is better to drive on a four-wheel drive to reach Mozi Forest of Gunung Brinchang. Mozi Forest is a natural ecosystem that found only in the highest elevations of Cameron Highlands and other mountains. It is located at the area between Pahang Perak and the border of Gunung Irau. So from the map, we can see that the bottom one is the Perak and up there is Pahang. And we can see that based on the information provided in Google Earth, Mozi Forest is an evergreen forest with a high pedestrian boardwalk through ferns, moss, orchids, and other plant life. So in the map, we can see that the border walk of Mozi Forest is between the Gunung Brinchang to the mini Irau. So the border walk is at the area between them. Welcome to Mozi Forest of Gunung Brinchang in Cameron Highlands. Finally, we arrived at Mozi Forest, and this is the entrance of Mozi Forest. The weather is nice and cold. The air is fresh and clean. So, did you know that Mozi Forest of Gunung Brinchang is one of the oldest forests in Malaysia? This forest has been in existence for over 200 million years with a lot of ancient trees. And now we'll explore the Mozi Forest and enjoy the breathtaking view through this Mozi Forest boardwalk. So Mozi Forest is a tropical montane rainforest which contains abundant exotic forests such as orchid, ferns, moss, lichen, and liverwoods. There are many fascinating epiphytes on the trees, as you can see that. They hang loosely from canopies, branches, and also the stem. Since this forest is strictly protected by the Pahang State Forest Department, therefore a 15-meter boardwalk is built over the nature trail by the government for tourists to avoid damages to the forest. Okay, so now we arrive at the 50 meters tall lookout tower. So you can see some of the rolling fields, town or valley of Cameron Highlands. It is pretty chilly up here. Most of the tourists visit here for its nature, beauty, chill environment, and the fresh air. It has a cold temperature between 8 degrees Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius. So at this height, we can see a lot of thick and low-level clouds here. And the surrounding is usually covered by mist. The latitude is from 23 degrees north to 25 degrees south. And the altitude range from 500 meters to 4,000 meters above the sea level. The annual rainfall of Mozi Forest can range from 500 to 10,000 millimeters per year. The forest is covered by heavy fog and rain at the vegetation's level, so it reduces the penetration of sunlight and evapotranspiration. The best time to visit Mozi Forest is early in the morning because it totally looks like an enchanted setting for fairy tale. And now this is the borderline of Pahang and Perak, so the tourists can just go Perak or Pahang just in one steps. And this is the boardwalk and the surrounding. So along the boardwalk, we can observe magnificent view of thick mosses, huge tree trunks, highland orchids and pitcher plants. Due to the large amount of precipitation in Mozi Forest, so the boardwalk looks wet and slippery. And this environment looks so moist and dewy. There are actually two trails in the Mozi Forest. The first is the nature trail and the second one is this boardwalk. And boardwalk is definitely safer than nature trail. In this environment, we can see that the soil is soft and damp. This is because the area is covered by many clouds because of the high precipitations, and the phenomenon of cloud stripping is usually occurred where the clouds contact with the tree and it drips on the forest floor. Besides that, we can observe a variety of plants with different shapes of leaves. And the rare flowers such as Rafflesia, which is the parasitic plant, also can be found in here. Besides that, animals such as snakes, frogs, birds, and other unique animals can also be found in this Mozi Forest of Gunung Brinchang. So to sum it up, I will now explain the importance of Mozi Forest. The first importance of tropical montane rainforest or Mozi Forest is watershed. Due to the phenomenon of cloud stripping, the effective rainfall can occur during dry seasons and more rainfall during wet seasons. This provides enough moisture to the plants. And the second importance is endemic and unique animal species. A lot of rare species can be found in Mozi Forest of Gunung Brinchang due to its cool and clean environment. However, the biodiversity in tropical montane rainforest is not as rich as tropical lowland rainforest. And besides that, the threats toward tropical montane forest or Mozi Forest is tourism. This is because the Mozi Forest is sensitive and fragile. Some of the visitors littering along the nature trail, and this trash can damage the plants and make the forest suffer from overload of tourists. And actually, last October, the Mozi Forest of Gunung Brinchang is temporarily closed by the government to clean out all the trash and for the plants to regenerate. But at the end, they failed to do so because they couldn't clean out all the trash that produced by the tourists. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoy from this virtual tour. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Hello everyone, nice to meet you. My name is Halimaton and I'm going to be your visual guide for this trip. The location that I'm going to bring all of you is called Kukup Island. First, let's talk a bit about this island background. Kukup Island located at Pontian district, Johor, and known as the second largest mangrove island in the world and the largest in the entire Peninsula Malaysia. It covers an area of 800 hectares, which includes 647 hectares of mangrove forests. On 21 January 2003, Kukup Island has been granted a status of Ramsar Site. in other words, a wetland international importance, and become a protected national park under the Johor State Park Corporation Enactment 1989. So, what is the main purpose for this mangrove forest? Can anyone guess? The answer is the mangrove forest is a home for a lot of wildlife and also an important stopover site for the migratory birds. There was about 41 habitats of different species migratory birds that live on this island. This is the long walkway inside the mangrove forest, which used to make the visitor can travel around the mangrove forest more easily. And the surrounding of this mangrove park, which you can see a lot of mangrove trees. And what a coincidence that we can see a lone monkey sitting on this walkway. Here you can see the uniqueness of the mangrove trees, which is the aerial root that serve as a home for the small aquatic animals and a defense mechanism against floods and tsunami. And also you can see the mud flat around here. Next, I'm going to bring all of you to the one of the highlights on the mangrove forest park, which is the 100-year-old mangrove tree. This tree has lived more than 100 years old and also the largest that exists on this island. So, what is unique about this tree? The unique fact is this tree is actually a hybrid between Rhizophora apiculata, or in other words we call in Malay bakau mia, and Rhizophora stylosa, or we call it in Malay cakit jala. This tree has a history of over 100 years old. This is one of the special attractions that I can show to all of you about this island. If you are interested to know more about this island, you are welcome to visit this place personally.
Hi everyone, my name is Thivyah and today I will be your virtual tour guide. We will look at one of Malaysia's most natural geographical landscapes named Batu Caves, which is the limestone hill of Spooky Cavans. But firstly, we should know what is limestone. Limestone is one of the most common types of rock found on the surface of the earth. Limestone rock is made up of two types of minerals such as calcite and aragonite. But do you know what is so special about limestone rock? Let me explain it to you. It can dissolve in natural water and it is very important element in the production of cement and agriculture. Do you know how do limestone ecosystem form? Limestone is formed by the fossilized remains of those countless marine living organisms like coral that lived along the Carboniferous period million years ago. Okay, now looking into the map, this is the map of Peninsular Malaysia. Okay, this is Batu Cave, which is surrounded by the housing areas such as Taman Seri Gombak, Taman Melati, Taman Setapak Indah, Sentul, Taman Selayang, and also Taman Raintree. This is the overview of Batu Caves. Batu Caves is a limestone hill that has a series of caves and cave temples in Gombak, Selangor, Malaysia. The town nearby is named after the Batu Cave limestone formation. The limestone forming Batu Caves is said to be around 400 million years old. It gave long flight 272 steps in order to get into the caves. Batu Caves is considered to be Kuala Lumpur's biggest creations of nature. The site also hosts a series of cave temples and it is one of the most well-known Hindu shrines outside India dedicated to Lord Murugan. But somehow, in Batu Caves, tourists are actually allowed to explore the flora and fauna. This is because the exploration of the diverse range of cave fauna around it would be a great eye-opener to those tourists. Besides, we can even go for rock climbing at the Dark Cave, which is placed below the temple cave. The Batu cave hill and its numerous caverns contain a wealth of plants and animals, many of which are specialized for limestone environments. A total of 269 species of vascular plants have been recorded from the site, including 56 species of which are obligate calcifiers. There are various undeveloped caves which contain a diverse range of cave fauna, including some unique species such as trapdoor species. The caves have 21 species of bats, which are like fruit bats. However, due to the economic state of our country, there are some threats to the caves. Limestone is found all over the world and it is in big demand for cement production and mining. It has been threatened by quarrying, and not forgetting those uncontrolled extraction of shiftlets and forest fire. Therefore, it is our responsibility to take care of caves by conserving with the aid of the Conservation Agency. Thus, if you are interested to know more information regarding these caves, you are always welcomed to visit Batu Caves, which is located at Selangor, Gombak, Malaysia. Definitely, it will be worth it because you will be able to admire the natural beauty by exploring it. Until then, stay safe and take care. Thank you for watching.